Welcome to another edition of SAT TV News. I am Alicia George. Thanks for joining us. In our top stories, Dominica step up efforts to develop first ever country document on disaster risk reduction. In the region, air service restored to Turks and Caicos as flood recovery efforts begin. And internationally, Peru seizes Europe-bound cocaine hidden in coal. In sport, UEFA president announces intention to challenge current FIFA president. Details of these and other stories will follow. Welcome back. The Office of Disaster Management, ODM, will host a two-day national validation workshop on Thursday to develop the first ever country document in Dominica on disaster risk reduction. Steve Joseph, acting program officer at the ODM, said the workshop seeks to present a draft document that will allow debate and discussion for priority action areas.
The workshop seeks to, first of all, present the draft document. So a draft has already been developed looking at disaster risk management in Dominica, establishing some priority areas, establishing some strategic direction, strategic goals that we have to pursue, and hopefully suggesting some priority areas for action.
Joseph said the final document should set clear parameters for the disaster risk management in the national framework. According to Joseph, the final document has to be presented by the consultant to be submitted to the ODM and the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, UNISDR, for further review.
We are looking forward to a full day of discussion on Thursday, as well as a half day on Friday. Hopefully that will offer the consultant enough material to refine the document before the final document is prepared and submitted to the ODM and the UNISDR for further review and acceptance.
The completed document will then be passed to the Ministry of National Security and later to Cabinet for endorsement. Joseph stressed on the importance of that document.
This document is important because the various agencies, both regionally and internationally, is looking for opportunities for greater collaboration, especially under the European Commission Disaster Program, DPECO 2015 and beyond. That offers agencies the opportunity to look at a country and be clear on what the priorities are for disaster risk management.
The two-day national validation workshop culminates a series of workshops from regional intervention by the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. Newly elected Kalinago Chief Charles Williams has called for greater development in the territory. Williams sounded the call during the inauguration ceremony of the new Kalinago Council on August 22nd. According to the Kalinago Chief, there are many factors impeding development in the territory.
When I study my history, and I study my rights, and I study who I am, and I study my roots, I cannot see that I am sitting here on the back burner of this country, where we do not have any commercial activity, where we have no port facilities, where we do not have the rights, according to the Carib Act, to make decisions of our own.
He said according to the legislation, any decision that has to be made for the territory must go through the minister responsible for community development on the island. Chief Williams said he hopes that the current council will be able to change that rule to better facilitate the people of the territory.
I think that's a dangerous and very negative piece of legislation that impedes on the development of the Kalinago people. And soon from now, I hope that the councillors and myself will come forward so that we can change that portion of the act that limits the development of the Kalinago people.
Chief Williams said under the rule of Dominican governments, he has witnessed no change that has improved the lives of the Kalinago people.
It is almost now 50 years since the Dominican people are governing Dominica, governing us, and there has been no change, so to speak, in the lives of the Kalinago people under the new hands of the local Dominicans who govern this country. And that, again, is a setback for the Kalinago people.
However, Minister responsible for telecommunications, Honorable Ambrose George, has disputed the claim and said that the Kalinago territory is benefiting from various programs implemented by the Labour Party government.
To say again that the Carib territory has been put on the back burner is in fact a fallacy, because every program that has been instituted and implemented by this government, the Dominica Labour Party, led Roosevelt's Carib administration, the Carib territory has benefited from those programs.
The Kalinago people, also known as Caribs, were the first known settlers on Dominica and have lived on the island for thousands of years. In an effort to raise awareness about the work of the Child Abuse Prevention Unit, the Caribbean Male Action Network, CARIMAN, in collaboration with the Child Abuse Prevention Unit at the Welfare Division, will host a fair this Saturday. President of CARIMAN, Thomas Holmes, in an interview with SAT-TV News, said the fair is designed to generate discussion on ways to bring an end to child abuse in Dominica.
If you're not, our society will be a sorry state when so many of our children are being abused and nothing is being done for them. So we're going to invite the entire general public of Dominica. It's a market day, it's a Saturday, from 9 in the morning till 4 o'clock. So we're asking everybody to come in and then be part of this.
During the fair, there will be one-on-one education sessions with the public, distribution of educational materials to sensitize persons on child abuse, and information on what they can do to protect themselves. Other partners for the fair include the Bureau of Gender Affairs, Child Fund Caribbean, the National Youth Council, the Kiwanis Club, and the Planned Parenthood Association. Meanwhile, Holmes said the CARIMAN will host a raffle in an effort to raise funds for the organization to promote and fund projects.
We're also going to have very soon an anti-bullying program, not just in the schools, but also in the homes. How do we help parents prepare the children for them not to engage in bullying activities? And then we're also thinking of starting another program which is building positive character within the family. And then with this, what we're trying to do is not just the schools, but again, we have to start in the families, because many of the things begin in the family. So if we can address them and help the parents, the adults in the families, with certain situations so we can work together to prevent violence, I think that's a good way to begin.
The general public is being urged to support the organization in its fundraising efforts. SAT would like to announce 2 new numbers dedicated to providing its customers with better customer service. Hotline at 616-1700 will be dedicated to customer service, while 616-1600 is dedicated to our new corporate office. When we return, more stories. Welcome back. Competitors in the National Cooperative Credit Union NCCU's annual Kedah Slips competition will face off in the elimination round this Saturday at the Hallam Plaza from 7:30 p.m. The event, which is in its 3rd year, introduced a new style of competition, with last year's winner Halibut vying for his crown in 2014. Dexter Ducre, event coordinator of the Kedah Slips show, told SAT-TV News that this year's event was subject to a few changes, including its Kedah Festival held last Saturday.
We've changed the format to the extent where Halibut is now defending his crown, so we should have a much bigger show this year. What we want to do is that we've also, in addition to the changes in terms of defending his crown, we've had additional, two events we've had concerning the changes. One, we hosted Kedah Festival at the Bayfront, and number 2, we're having what you call eliminations on Saturday at the Hallam Plaza.
On Saturday, August 30th, 14 competitors will be chosen to perform at the Grand Finals on October 18th at the Windsor Park Courtyard in Roseau.
The competitors can sing on playback, they can walk in, we'll have a combo section of Fanatic Band, where they have been practicing, as well as you can come with a guitar and just sing. We'll leave it open. It's a self-calypso format. You just come in and sing, and we have the 5 judges here. The judges will choose, of course, the 15 competitors, and we go to.
Ducre said the NCCU has also added a band competition to this year's event, where 3 top bands will perform for the title King of Kedah.
Committee will choose one song, a Kedah song, and each band will remix that to their flavor, and they'll be tested on that song. So basically, the competition is one song. They can be judged on one song, but they will play, each band will play for 45 minutes. But they be only judged on one song, which the committee will choose, and they will remix that how they want. They can put boogie on it, they can put rap in it, whatever they want. And so they'll be the judge on the level playing field.
Performer De Webb, who won the first ever Kedah Slips competition in 2012, will be competing on Saturday night to hopefully face off against reigning Kedah Slips winner Halibut. Fresh on the heels of a promotional tour of the French West Indies, where Dominica's 18th annual Work Music Festival was vigorously promoted. Promoter Leroy Waddox-Charles and Marvel Williams, events assistants at the Dominica Festivals Committee (DFC), are reporting success from their trip.
We had an extensive French promotion recently, myself and Marvel, which took us to Martinique and Guadeloupe. And there we met several news agencies and the media in general, print. We also had several interviews in Martinique, and to our mind, it was an overwhelming success. For the first time in Guadeloupe, we had a promotion of the festival on the beach. So the festival promotion took a different twist, where we went to a community called Bouillante. And we were on the beach here for about 5 to 6 hours, and we were live with one of our partners, RCI.
The two also went to various parts of Guadeloupe, including Pigeon Island and Gozère, where they promoted the festival live on RCI radio station, which boasts 60% of listenership in both Guadeloupe and Martinique.
The French Antilles have supported the festival from its inception. And it's overwhelming the way they have embraced the lineup, the way they embrace the idea of the camaraderie of the Creole people in one area, one space called Dominica during the 24th, 25th, and 26th. And once again, we want to appeal to Dominica to embrace ourselves. We are very fortunate to be the homeland of this festival. We are very fortunate to be the producers of this festival. And like the French, I feel that there is more we could do to spread the word, and that is why, once again, despite the fact that you have been doing a tremendous work, I want to once again appeal to the media. Sensationalism is not always the best. Sometimes positive and factual information can reap tremendous dividends. We can't lament the fact enough that to every dollar that is spent on this festival, 9 returns to the economy.
Charles also announced the inclusion of 3 new acts from the French West Indies to perform at this year's festival.
We also have from Guadeloupe Dali, which we just signed, and Dali is more or less in the new generation. He is a songwriter, producer. He also sings in bouillon. As a matter of fact, he has collaborated with several Dominican bouillon artists here. And we are very privileged to have him. He appeals to the younger generation in the French Antilles. Likewise, Riddler. Riddler is also a French artist from Guadeloupe. And he also collaborates with several of the bouillon artists in Dominica. So they will be performing with the global champions, Triple K. We are also privileged to announce Simon Girard. And for those of you who you can Google him. He has been in existence now for 40 years.
He added, with a versatile lineup for this year's festival, it will satisfy all patrons in musical reference. This year's festival will be held from October 24th to the 26th. This has been the local segment of the news.